Hello guys, so today we're continuing going over the new hero talents coming in the War Within. So today we'll be taking a look at Deathbringer, which is Frost and Blood Death Knight. As we see over here, Blood and Frost are getting Deathbringer, Frost and Unholy are going to get Rider of the Apocalypse. We just did a video on this one, by the way, it's down below. Go check out the channel, like and subscribe. So first one we'll be looking at today is going to be Reaper's Mark. So this one will be available at level 71, and let's look. It's an active ability, costs 2 runes and has a 1-minute cooldown. Viciously slice into the soul of your enemy, dealing Shadow Frost damage and applying Reaper's Mark. Each time you deal Shadow or Frost damage, add a stack of Reaper's Mark. After 12 seconds or reaching 40 stacks, the mark explodes, dealing damage per stack. Okay. Is it AoE damage though? Could be nice. Reaper's Mark travels to an unmarked enemy nearby if the target dies or explodes below 35% health when there are no enemies to travel to. This explosion cannot occur again on a target for 3 minutes. Okay. First one on the left side is going to be Weave of Souls. Reaper's Mark unleashes a dark weave towards your target and back, dealing Shadow Frost damage both ways to all enemies caught in its path. Weave of Souls crit strike causes enemies to take 5% increased Shadow Frost damage for 15 seconds, stacking twice, and the weave back is always a crit. Okay. In the middle, Blood Fever. So for Blood, your Blood Plague has a chance to deal 30% increased damage as Shadow Frost. And the Frost part, your Frost Fever has a chance to deal 30% increased damage as Shadow Frost. Okay. On the right side, Bind in Darkness. Shadow Frost damage applies double stacks to Reaper's Mark and quadruple stacks when it's a crit. So Blood Boil deals Shadow Frost damage, okay, and Frost's Rime Empowered Howling Blast deals Shadow Frost damage. Okay. Sundering Soul. Reaper's Mark's explosion causes a piece of the target's soul to tear out and spiral outwards, dealing 10% of the explosion's damage to enemy it passes through. Enemies hit by this effect deal 5% reduced physical damage to you for 10 seconds. This is pretty nice, and this is actually the answer to my question up here if it was AoE. So by using Shuddering Soul, it's going to be AoE, and the damage reduction is just nice, but it's physical damage only. Middle one, Grim Reaper. Reaper's Mark explosion deals up to 30% increased damage based on the target's smithing health, and applies Soul Reaper to targets below 35% health. That's nice. And on the right side is going to be a choice note. So first one, Death's Bargain. When you suffer a damaging effect equal to 25% of your max HP, you instantly cast Death Pact at 50% effectiveness. May only occur every 2 minutes. When a Reaper's Mark explodes, the cooldown of this effect and Death Pact are reduced by 5 seconds. Okay. And the other one is going to be Rune Carved Plates. Each rune spent reduce the magic damage you take by 2%, and each rune generated reduce the physical damage you take by 2% for 5 seconds, stacking 5 times. So 10% damage reduction both for magic and physical. That could be pretty nice. Depending on the severity of Death Bargain, I guess the passive one is just better. I guess we'll have to see. Next one down here is also a choice note. Death's Messenger. Reduce the cooldown of Lichborn and Raise Dead by 30 seconds. Okay. Or Expelling. Expeling? I don't know. When an enemy deals direct damage to your anti-magic shell, their cast speed is reduced by 10% for 6 seconds. That's a bit meh. I mean, it's strong and you can cheese a lot of mechanics by postponing cast speed, but I still think having Lichborn on a 30 seconds smaller cooldown is going to be better. Yeah, depends. In the middle, also a choice note. Death Talents. While Icy Talents is active, your runic power spending abilities deal Shadow Frost damage. So, for Blood, Marrow Rend and Heart Strike have 20% chance to increase their maximum stack of an active Icy Talent by 1 up to 2 times. And Frost, Consuming, Killing Machine or Rhyme has a 20% chance to increase the max stack of Icy Talents by 1 up to 2 times. And the other choice is going to be Wither Away. So for Blood Plague deals its damage in half the duration, and the second Scythe of Exterminate applies Blood Plague. Okay. And Frost Fever deals its damage in half the duration, and the second Scythe of Exterminate applies Frost Fever. So I think this one is pretty strong, Wither Away. Especially the Frost part. Doing all of the Frost Fever damage in half the time, so that you could just apply new ones, is pretty strong. Last one on the left side. Doesn't say if it's a choice node or not, but I guess it is. Reaper's Mark cost is reduced by 1 rune and cooldown reduced by 50%. And Painful Death. Reaper's Mark now explodes at 50 stacks, and the first Scythe of Exterminate has a 100% chance to apply Reaper's Mark. Okay. And the last one, which explains Exterminate. Exterminate. After Reaper's Mark explodes, your next Morrowind for Blood or Obliterate for Frost costs no runes and summons 2 Scythe to strike your enemies. The first Scythe strikes your target for physical damage and has a 15% chance to apply Reaper's Mark, and the second Scythe strikes all enemies around your target for Shadow Frost damage. So I don't know what to think about this one. It looks really cool. The theme of it is quite on point, and the fantasy of the class is really strong. I'm just not that excited. I mean, some of the things are really strong, like the active damage reduction, the extra AoE component. I mean, but it's just another thing you need to keep up, another disc you need to spin, another plate you need to balance. It's, I guess, if you're playing Blood or Frost, it kind of depends how you play, because that means you are going to be getting a lot of things you need to spin to make sure they interact with each other. I think this is pretty strong. It could be super cool to see what it's going to be. It could be pretty strong depending on the damage of the explosions and how much like the different scythes do in damage, and where is it? Weave of Soul, which is the dark weave going back and forth depending on how big it is and how much damage it does. And depending on how many Reaper's Marks you can have out at one time. Yeah. I mean, it looks really cool, and I'm really interested to see how it plays out. So far, as of making this video, we don't have access to the alpha yet, so crossing the fingers that it's going to be soon. If you guys would like to see the other videos we already did, they're in the channel. And next one we will be covering will be the Aldrashi Reaver, the new Havoc Vengeance Demon Hunter thing. So, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.